This is biology meeting climate, and your immune system is caught right in the middle. No itchy eyes, no runny nose, no reaching for antihistamines while everyone else around you suffered. And then, somewhere around your 55th birthday, something shifted. Suddenly, you are waking up congested, your eyes are watering during your morning walk, you are sneezing through meetings, through dinners, through what used to be perfectly comfortable afternoons outdoors. And the most confusing part is that nothing in your environment has obviously changed. Same house, same neighborhood, same trees blooming every April. So what is going on? Add to this the fact that the regulatory T cells responsible for keeping immune responses in check become less effective with age, and you have a biological setup that makes new allergic sensitization entirely plausible, even in someone who has never had a single allergy symptom in 50 plus years of life. If you made it to adulthood without developing a sensitivity to pollen, pet dander, or dust mites, you were considered largely in the clear. That assumption has been steadily dismantled over the past 2 decades, and 2026 research is making it even clearer that adult-onset allergies are not only real, but increasingly common. The immune system is not a static machine. It evolves, adapts, and sometimes misfires as the body ages. When you are young, your immune system is in a constant state of training, learning to distinguish between harmless substances and genuine threats. But as you move through your 40s and into your 50s, the immune system undergoes a process researchers call immunosenescence, which is essentially the gradual aging of immune function. Some parts of the immune response slow down, while others become dysregulated. The result can be a system that suddenly starts flagging substances it previously ignored, like tree pollen, grass, or mold spores, as dangerous invaders. Immunoglobulin E, commonly referred to as IgE, is the antibody most closely associated with allergic reactions. In some older adults, IgE production becomes less regulated, meaning the body can begin producing it in response to allergens it never reacted to before. Your immune system is not just encountering more pollen, it is encountering more potent pollen. Climate scientists and botanists have been tracking a disturbing trend for years. Rising carbon dioxide levels and warmer temperatures are fundamentally changing how plants produce pollen. Trees are flowering earlier, the pollen season is lasting longer, and individual plants are producing significantly more pollen per season than they did 30 years ago. In 2026, that trend has reached what many researchers are calling an inflection point. Oak, birch, and cedar trees, which are among the most allergenic species in the northern hemisphere, have produced pollen loads that are breaking records set as recently as 2023. Some monitoring stations in the Midwest and Southeast United States recorded single-day pollen counts exceeding 3,000 grains per cubic meter of air, a level that would have been considered extreme even a decade ago. In parts of Europe, birch pollen seasons that historically lasted 4 to 6 weeks are now stretching to 10 or 11 weeks. The pollen itself has also changed in ways that matter to your immune system. Studies published in the past 3 years have shown that pollen produced under elevated carbon dioxide conditions contains higher concentrations of allergenic proteins, even though the process has been gradual, and it involves something most people never think about: the mucous membranes lining your nasal passages, throat, and airways. These membranes serve as the body's first line of defense against airborne particles. When they are healthy and well hydrated, they trap pollen, dust, and other irritants before those substances can trigger an immune response. But as the body ages, these membranes undergo significant changes. After the age of 50, mucus production naturally decreases. The membranes become thinner, drier, and less effective at trapping and clearing particles. The tiny hair-like structures called cilia, which are responsible for sweeping trapped particles out of the nasal passages, also slow down with age. The result is that pollen and other allergens spend more time in contact with the nasal lining, increasing the likelihood of sensitization and reaction. Someone who grew up in the Pacific Northwest and moved to the Southeast in their 40s may have been building sensitivity to multiple pollen types across their entire lifetime without ever knowing it. And it comes down to cumulative exposure. Allergic sensitization does not always happen the first time you encounter an allergen. It can take years of repeated exposure before the immune system reaches a threshold and begins mounting a full allergic response. Think of it like a bucket slowly filling with water. Each exposure adds a little more, and for decades the bucket never overflows. But at some point, after enough seasons of breathing in pollen, the threshold is crossed, and the immune system tips into reactivity. For people now in their 50s, that means roughly 5 decades of pollen exposure, combined with an aging immune system that is less capable of maintaining tolerance. The 2026 pollen season may be record-breaking, but your response to it does not have to be passive. The good news is that adult-onset allergies, while genuinely frustrating, are highly treatable, and the options available in 2026 are more effective than ever. Allergists recommend starting with confirmation through skin prick testing or specific IgE blood tests to identify exactly which allergens are triggering your symptoms, because treatment is far more effective when it is targeted. Nasal corticosteroid sprays remain the gold standard for managing seasonal allergic rhinitis and are safe for long-term use in older adults. Second-generation antihistamines, which cause significantly less drowsiness than older formulations, are also highly effective. For those looking for longer-term relief, allergen immunotherapy, which involves gradually exposing the immune system to increasing doses of the offending allergen, has shown strong results even in patients who develop allergies later in life. Sublingual immunotherapy, which is administered as drops or tablets under the tongue rather than injections, has become increasingly accessible and is particularly well suited for older adults. Practical environmental strategies also make a meaningful difference. Monitoring daily pollen counts through apps or local health department resources, keeping windows closed during peak pollen hours between 5 in the morning and 10 in the morning, showering after outdoor activities to remove pollen from hair and skin, and using high-efficiency particulate air filters indoors can all reduce your overall allergen burden significantly.